Fix errors, waste, and issues in a couple of clicks. Get alerted whenever you're off track. Sign up at trueclicks.com.
Wix Studio, the platform for agencies and enterprises to manage clients and projects with max efficiency, sharing Wix's SEO tech to help you drive growth.
Thank you. So, 2 great talks, huh? And I'm actually going to follow up about specifically the one that Christopher just made about categorizing keywords, because that is essential, especially when you work with a lot of keyword data. So my talk is going to focus more about how we can visualize and make sense of the data rather than how we can collect a lot of data. So, and the reason for that is collecting a lot of keywords is quite easy, at least nowadays. If you pull keywords from like Search Console API, you can get tens of thousands. So that's not the challenge, but making all the keywords make sense, that is what's really hard, both in terms of how you categorize them and cluster them, which is essential if you want to understand large data sets, but also how you can visualize them. So the reason it's hard is partly information overload. It's also the lack of context and the ambiguity around that. And in a lot of cases, we have inconsistent data from multiple data sets. I'm being one of those that used to go into probably 5, 6, 7 different tools and grab some screenshots and data from each of them. And that is quite challenging when you think about it, because that really like compromises the accuracy of the data, but also increases the complexity. And ultimately what it does is that it reduces the confidence in the analysis. And it's more common than you think. I'm guilty as charged on this one. This is a slide deck that I did a few years ago, having data from various different sources. So essentially what I try to say, don't be like comparing apples and oranges. Try to unify the data. That would help you make sense of the data in a much better way. And how can we make this simpler? So organization is a big part, I would say the biggest part. So clustering keywords really help us like understand them, breaking them down into topics, subtopics, etc. But also the visualization, which I will focus on more today. Charts, graphs, other visual aids to like help you interpret the data. But also essentially what these two do is that they help you apply context. So that's why we will go through keyword analysis that I have like made before this talk, containing 16,000 keywords. And I went with the fashion industry, so it's product related in terms of the queries that we will go through. So I decided to actually like divide my keyword analysis into these parts. So market demand, search behavior, site insights, site performance, and the competitive intelligence. And starting with market demand, instead of like diving just right into keywords and start talking about search volumes, I think it's good to like take a step back or two and try to figure out like the overall market potential. So in this case, we can look at like the amount of keywords we have in our analysis. That's a good start. The monthly searches that these queries add up to, but also the traffic potential if we were to like become a market leader in this segment. We can look at the data on a yearly trend, try to identify seasonal peaks. In this case, we can see that we have a slight decrease in February, a slight increase in November. That's quite interesting. But we can also zoom out and look at the data on a 3-year period to try to identify like, is our market growing or is it shrinking? In this case, it's a 9% growth across the volumes over a 3-year trend, which is good. Moving on to search behavior, we can start to look at our keywords. But before we come to keywords, let's start with the topics that we have identified. So I mentioned that this is for fashion, and all the keywords in this analysis specifically is around products and product categories. And here are the main topics that goes with those product categories. So if products are 100%, we can see that of the volume, we can see that color is the biggest modifier or topic combined with products. We can also see that it's profile and material, and it's a falling scale. But we can also look at the most frequent combinations, which is quite nice. So we can see that color and product are 13% of the keywords, and they're also the top demand. Another interesting finding here is the product and profile category, which amounts to 17% of the volume, but only 4% of the actual keywords. So that specific combination tends to have quite a lot of head keywords. So by visualizing the data and looking at the clusters before we come to the, on a keyword specific level, we can draw a lot of insights. We can also look at it this way. We have topics, subtopics. In this case, I mentioned I identified color, product, materials, and so on. But I also identified subtopics, so the different colors and the search volume that these colors add up to, so we can understand the potential with each subtopic. But we can also look at it from a keyword perspective, looking at the top keywords within each topic to better understand what people are searching for in a given topic, to better understand the market essentially and the search behavior. And if we want to, we can go even further. We can break it down by subtopic and keywords if we really want to drill down. So on the left-hand side here, I focus on colors, and on the right-hand side, materials. So you can really see the top subtopics and which keywords belong to each top subtopic. And if we want to, we can also look at it on a head, body, long tail level. And when doing this at across 16,000 keywords, you can't go in and actively decide what a keyword should have. So just looking at the amount of words and what volume they account to is a quite good insight that you can learn quite a lot from. Moving into site insights, leaving the search behavior behind, we can see that in this case I did for H&M. Our agency Pixel is not affiliated with H&M by any means, but they are a Swedish fashion brand. So I went with them, and we can look at the performance across all of these keywords in a pie chart if we want to, but we can also look at the performance across the various topics that we have identified. And this provides a lot more granularity. So we can see, for example, that H&M isn't a strong performer within sustainability. That's not a shocker really, but we can also see that how they perform within each of the color, profile, material, etc. related topics. And if we want to, we can look at it on a keyword level as well, really just making it super easy to understand. Red is bad, green is good. How do we perform across the top keywords within each of our various topics? We can also look at it from a site performance perspective, looking at the rankings. How many keywords does H&M in this case rank for? And we can see that it's 3,500 keywords approximately. And also what kind of visibility they do cover with these keywords today. And we can see that's 30% of the monthly searches. And we can also see that the estimated traffic that they are supposed to get at the moment. We can also look at the potential. And as a consultant, this is where a lot of our focus is usually going, trying to make business cases. And one way to look at it is traffic potential by topic. So we can identify our different topics, the colors, the profiles, material patterns, and so on, and see how much do we currently own and how much is left to be gained if we were to invest in any of these topics. Another one is this one, which is essentially a really nice graph to find golden nuggets. So on the left-hand side, we have the sum of volume. At the right-hand side, we have the number of ranking keywords. And at the bottom, we have the different ranks. And essentially what we want to find here is a gap between the bar and the line. as we can see that at position 18 we can identify that gap. So what I did then was I started to browse through my different topics, and when I came to the topic occasion, it was a clear outlier. So in this case, it essentially means that, okay, H&M has a keyword ranking number 18, or a subset of keywords ranking on position 18 with quite a lot of demand, in this case close to 100,000 searches a month. And we can click there to drill down and better understand what that potential comes from. And when doing so, we can see that, so this is just a pre-filter view of H&M number 18 together with the occasion topic, if you like. And we can see that 95% of the demand in this case is covered by party dresses. So it's one single keyword.